In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms of and conventions of real media products? Before starting the production of our trailer, we had to find out what we would include, and to do this, we had to look into and research into similar texts to the genre that we had chosen to do, which was the sci-fi genre. Therefore, we researched and planned our trailer accordingly to the research we had done on trailers like Inception, Ender's Game, The Avengers, G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, and G.I. Joe Retaliation, Oblivion, etc.
The conventions that we noticed down that were similar in all these sci-fi trailers were the following. Good versus evil and hero/villains is usually the theme. The length of the trailers we saw was approximately around 2.5 minutes long, and it is not linear. The soundtrack starts off slowly and it builds up as the action builds up, and it hard cuts into a cliffhanger. Quick cuts are also used to build up the suspense and the enigmatic ending. Voiceovers are used. The main character in the trailers that we saw were mostly white males who were the protagonists. The antagonists are portrayed wearing futuristic clothing, and this is another convention of sci-fi trailers, as we noted down that is similar, that sci-fi movies are set in the future with advanced technology. The token character in the movie, or the helper or donor, is usually from an ethnic minority.
In our trailer to Civilization, we decided that we will follow these conventions, but on the other hand, we decided not to follow some of the main conventions. As Steve Neal said, that genres are instant of repetition and difference, and the sci-fi genre has the same conventions repeated in all trailers, which may not attract the audience. Therefore, we did not follow some conventions, as we wanted to keep our trailer original, interesting, and unique.
We used the soundtrack from one of the trailers we researched into. Ender's Game was the main inspiration behind our trailer and the soundtrack that they had in the movie. Salamander's Battle is the non-copyright soundtrack that we used by getting permission. This soundtrack started off slowly, which met the convention of the sci-fi genre that we researched into, and it started to build up into an upbeat track with a hard cut end to it. We developed the soundtrack by cutting it down to the length of the trailer, and the editing of the soundtrack was hard because we had to make sure that it matched the scenes and that the scenes matched the beat.
We used basic conventions such as set in the future, as our trailer set in the year 2069, quick cuts between scenes which helped to build up the suspense, jet flying by, on-screen text which had slogans to help the audience understand the trailer, and the day in the form of the text. We decided to animate the on-screen text with lens flare effect that had been edited by the editor on After Effects. The reason we did this was because we noted that it was a convention in trailers like Gravity, Ender's Game, and etc. that had text on screen with lens flare, and we decided to follow this convention because we wanted to make our trailer familiar to the audiences, as they can recall from previous knowledge that they had seen it on another trailer.
On the other hand, there were some conventions that we did not follow because we wanted to make our trailer different to other trailers that exist. The convention that we decided to subvert was the use of white male as the protagonist in a trailer. From our trailer, the protagonist is an Asian character, and the reason we did this was because in our research we found out that the Asian characters have not been used as heroes to save the world, and are usually the ethnic minority that have been used as token characters or helper or donors. This helped to make our trailer original and different from others.
Furthermore, the donor/helper in our trailer is not the ethnic minority as seen in other sci-fi trailers from our research. For example, in Iron Man 3, the helper is from the black ethnicity. The helper in G.I. Joe is the Chinese person. However, we counted the stereotypical convention by white males as the donor and helper in our trailer. This also links back to props theory and its statement functions. However, knowing that his theory is on fairy tales, we can still use it for other media texts to an extent, and we did this in our trailer. And we use his functions such as the use of a hero, a villain, donor, dispatcher. However, some bits do not apply because we do not have a princess type character in which the hero saves or falls in love with, like in folktales, as this theory is based on folktales. However, it is still relevant in our coursework.
A convention of sci-fi movies is always set in big cities. However, we feel that we have broken this convention because we have used open spaces in our trailer and areas like Wembley, London, which connotes the space that our hero thinks he needs and maybe wants peace. This also makes our trailer original and different from other trailers that people have seen, as it is usually set in places like America and New York.
Moving on to genre, we decided to challenge the convention of the genre we chose, and also decided to keep some conventions the same. Looking at our product website and poster, it is straightforward for the audience to categorize our trailer into science fiction genre. Additionally, as David Bordwell stated that any themes may appear in any genre. We believe that our trailer and the genre, the theme about saving Earth is clearly understandable to the audience.
The use of CGI effects is another convention of the sci-fi genre that has been used in our trailer with the CGI effects of things like a watch hologram, meteorites and fireballs, and teleport jumper effects. Some of the effects we have used have been adapted from our research into other trailers, such as Iron Man 3 and Ender's Game, where holograms are used on big screens, but we adapted it into a watch hologram to make it look unique, and recently there hasn't been any movies that have used a watch hologram, so we thought about this and used it to show the audience something new.
Levi Strauss' theory on binary opposites is relevant to the genre of sci-fi because from our research into real media products, we have noticed that in all sci-fi genres, the binary opposites of good versus evil is present. For example, in Ender's Game, the alien species are the evil antagonist and Ender is the main character who is the protagonist. Therefore, we adapted his theory and the inspiration from Ender's Game and made our trailers similar, as we have the main actor who is the protagonist, who is dispatched on a mission by the president to save Earth, and the unknown enemy, who are referred in the trailer as they, the antagonists who are looking to make Earth their home and wipe out Earth's civilization. This binary opposite is a convention that is most common, and we decided not to challenge it, as without good versus evil in a sci-fi movie, it cannot be easily categorized as a sci-fi movie by the audience.
We challenged the conventions of showing action scenes in the trailer because we did not want the audience to know the powers of the main character. Most sci-fi trailers would show the scenes and use fast-paced editing with many cuts to show the actions build up with the music. However, we challenged this, showing a glimpse of one of the action scenes that will be in the movie at the end, when the protagonist builds up a fireball and throws it at the unknown enemy. This hard cuts off the title, and we did this to have an enigmatic ending, which is a convention of sci-fi genre, and as it leaves the audience with a cliffhanger, which we thought would be great, as they raise a question like, what happened to the enemy? Will the Earth be saved? And so on. And this would make them go watch the movie. However, the editing made sure that it matches the music, and we had added in scenes in between to build up the suspense for the audience. This was seen in trailers like Ender's Game.
We think that we have met the conventions of our chosen genre, and we have challenged some conventions to make our product stand out and sell in the market. Additionally, we have used basic conventions to make the genre understandable to the audiences, as they can see similar things from previous knowledge. Moving on to the ancillary tasks, we decided to create a website and a poster. Well, because these two were the products that were useful for our audience to know about the trailer compared to a magazine spread, as not all our target audience would read a magazine. We researched into movie posters in a similar genre to us and noted down conventions that were included and made a note of how the movie trailer, poster, and website were synergized, as we wanted to synergize our trailer with the poster and website, so they're all the same.
Firstly, the poster. We looked into real media products and made a note of the conventions that were used on the poster. A poster was the best option for us because it was vital in attracting the audience to see our trailer, as it is a great promotional method to release. This is something that we noticed that all production companies use to market their products. Some of the main conventions we made a note of from real media text posters were: the title of the movie was mostly found at the bottom of the poster. Title color was either white or red. The protagonist is always on the poster with more space allocated and facing the audience. Tagline was another common convention. Company credits as seen in movie. Cast names, website link, company name/logo.
The poster that we created meets the common conventions of a real media text posters, as we stuck to all of them. We had the title at the bottom in white and synergized it with the trailer by using the same font and style of the trailer to make it familiar to the audience. We used a short tagline to make it catchy and attractive to the audience, used instantly to, and the credits were placed at the bottom. On the other hand, one convention we decided to challenge and subvert was the protagonist facing the audience and shows their face. This is because from our research we saw some posters where the main actors had their backs turned to the audience and were looking at the events that were happening in the background. Therefore, taking this into account, we made our actor look up at the sky where the meteorite is heading to the city, and in this way we challenge the protagonist looking at the audience or facing them. The protagonist is also wearing the same clothing as seen in the trailer, which again makes the audience recognize who he is.
Our second ancillary task was a website. We thought that website would allow us to have our production information there as well as the poster, which meant we could give our audience the chance to see behind the scenes, connect with us through social networking sites, and also see the poster. So we looked into Real Media Tech's websites and made a note of common conventions that we came across, like social networking signs, company logo, music also playing in the background, a download section, a video section, the trailer on the homepage.
From the research, we added the main conventions into our website to make the audience familiar with it. We used common conventions as they were more appealing to the audience. Websites like Inception had a trailer on autoplay, but we challenged this and had our trailer on the homepage without it autoplaying, as we wanted the audience to interact with the website and play it themselves. The soundtrack heard in the trailer plays in the background of the website, which is seen in Ender's Game website, and we used the same soundtrack as our trailer to synergize it, and we wanted our audience to be able to familiarize themselves.
We believe that we have created synergy in all three of our products using Real Media Text from our research. The title in the trailer has been synergized in the poster and the website, along with the color grading, which is dark bluish. The poster and website have the same background, which is the London City of London, which is also synergized to make the product appealing to our targeted audience.
Overall, we believe that the conventions we have used in the trailer, poster, and website are the genre we chose and is appealing to mostly male teenagers as our primary audience. The secondary audience would be male adults, as they can watch the movie as a diversion from work or to fill time or for enjoyment. It appeals to teenagers because the protagonist in our trailer is a teenager himself, who would make other teenagers reflect themselves to the actor. Furthermore, we believe that this is our target audience because from our research into real media products, we have found out that most movies of similar genres targeted teenagers, as they are mostly fans of science fiction and that they have seen most movies categorized in this genre.
We think that we have made good use of the research into Real Media Text to help us create our trailer, poster, and website, as we followed the conventions, challenged some, and adapted some.